What we've been looking at so far is, of course, individual demand. But old Robert and David there, in their particular industry, which is what industry, Ahmad? They're looking at the car industry. Okay. What would you call the demand for all of the cars in the country? That's not just the individual demand, that's called the market demand, precisely. So when we're talking about the market, we're adding together the demand for all the cars. So that might be the demand for BMWs, Toyotas, Ford, Volkswagen, Jaguar Land Rover, Audi, Nissan, Volvo, Minis, Mercedes, Fiat, etc. Okay, so you get the drift, right? So the market is for all of them added together. Now, in your textbook, I think it's on page, is it 40? Page 40? Does it set out the demand for 3 individual people? No, I've got the wrong page. Got the wrong page.
It's like the next page.
Yeah, this one. Right, the top of page 34. Just turn this around, please, Ruby. Ruby. Right, so on page 34, you've got Cian, Neve, and William. Now, if I said to you, what is the market demand when the price is 100, Ishal, what would you say? What's the market demand? Open your book. Correct. What would you say, Phoebe, is the market demand when the price is 40? Speak up. And how are you getting that? 8 plus 3 plus 6, correct. So you're adding them all together, okay? So what I want you to do on your sheet of graph paper, I want you to copy that table out. I want you to put a market total column at the end, call it market demand, and then I want you to draw the market demand curve. Say that again.
Oh, can I take up a lot?
You can take up, and I've got plenty of paper if you need it. So who is it? You've got Cian, Neve, and William. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want another column at the end, so you're going to call that the market demand. And then add them all together and then plot that. Come on, Ali, please. Ruby, are you okay? Yeah. Okay. Sean, what are the prices? So does it go down in 20s? Is that what it is? And how far down does it go? To 0? As in draw it? Yeah, so copy the table out and then complete the market demand column at the end. And then just draw the market demand curve. Danke. Yeah.
What's right in the not
So you need to total across. So you know the way Phoebe said the total for 40 was 17. If you adding them all up, adding them together, the sum total. Ali, you managing? Sorry? What time were you in your bed at last night, Ali? 10, right. But I think maybe a bit earlier in future. Would? What, Leighton? 8:30. What's wrong with 8:30? Hey? Dylan, I shared that with Di Keller on LinkedIn. She's just messaged to say, "Oh, what a great job, Dylan." It's good, that, isn't it? Ruby, let's have a look. It's wearing a bit thin, that, isn't it? So draw price and market demands, what you want to
Do you do all of these like
know. Price and market demand.
Oh, so you just do one then?
One curve, yeah. So you're not drawing 4 curves, ladies and gents, you're drawing 1. Price and market demand. Don't be drawing 4. Very good. Wow, Colin Davison's finished it. Excellent. Let's have a look. Very good, Colin. Now, I would still on your x-axis put quantity demanded, and make sure you put a D besides the demand curve, please. Yeah. Yes. Helen, have we got this done yet? Right. Ali, what are you doing? What's your surname, Ali?
That is my surname.
Oh, sorry. What do you appear as under
Mohammed,
It's Learning?
Mohammed, and then Ali.
What's your user number?
117008.
Right, I've added you to the course.
Thank you.
Come on, Ishtiaq, you nearly done? We only draw one. You draw in price and market demand.
Mine's so straight.
No, that's fine. Just put a free-handed. Make sure you put a D on it. Make sure you put a D. Yeah, you've got it. Right, have you done it yet?
Yeah, but it looks weird.
Sorry?
It looks weird. Like mine goes like that at the end. And
No, it should be smooth. Yeah. Come on, Phoebe. Mathematics, mental arithmetic. Right, we can't wait for ever to get this done, so we'll just move on. So, Phoebe, because I know you're correcting your numbers there, so what are the numbers, please? 100 and... Right, 80 and... 60 and... 40 and... 20 and... 28. Right. Okay. So you'll either have a straight line, or if it's not a straight line, you just freehand it, because it is called a demand curve after all. We just draw them as straight lines, generally speaking, to keep it simple. But those of you who are lucky enough to go on to university and study economics further, then it'll all be curves that you'll be looking at. Okay. Now, if I said to you, Zayn, if I said, what's the formula for total revenue, what would you say? Formula for total revenue. Robert Forrester sells cars. Let's say he sells 4 cars in a day, £10,000 each. What's his total revenue? Right, so what's the calculation then? Okay, but put the nomenclature of a formula. Price multiplied by the price multiplied by the quantity sold. Absolutely correct. Blimey. Price times quantity sold. So beside your demand curve, please, just put revenue equals price multiplied by quantity. Or, as you would normally write it in the haste of an examination, you would just write TR equals P times Q. On your demand curve that you've just drawn, go to, let's take 60 and 10, okay? So we're going to 60, and you'll have a point here of 10. And do your dashes across to that and then down. Yeah? Not a moment, no. 60 and 10. Okay, what is 60 and 10?
600.
Correct. So you're doing price of 60, Beverly, times 10 equals 600. Okay. Next thing on your chart then, shade in that, depends how it appears on your chart, square or rectangle, but shade it in.
Lines are like fully cut.
Doesn't matter really. Lines, zigzags, dots, whatever. Hey Ruby?
Yeah.
Ruby? Okay, 60 and 10, 60 times 10, 600. Okay, Amy? Now, Ishtiaq, formerly known as the finest economist in year 10, formerly, what have you just identified on the demand curve, on the chart? What have you just identified? What is that area, ladies and gents? We'll give the finest economist in the land a shot at it, and then we'll open it up. Go on, what is it? Don't know, Kamitha? Don't know. Well, what's 60 times 10? Right? And what have we just said that gives you? Right. So, Grace, this is a very important point. So 60 times 10 is 600, which is the total revenue. Therefore, this area must also be the total revenue, right? So this is a new thing, Ruby. So what we've identified here under the demand curve is the total revenue. Because if you multiply 60 by 10, that gives you 600. Well, we know that's the total revenue. So on any area under the demand curve is also then the total revenue, correct? Did you see that, Helen? So from your table, price of 60, the market demand is 10, yes?
Yeah.
So if you're selling 10 units at £60 each, then you're making £600. So that is your total revenue. And what we're saying here is that the area under the demand curve also represents total revenue. Helen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand that, Ava?